with you.
And with your spirit.
A reading from the Holy Gospel according to John.
Glory to you, Lord.
Jesus said to his disciples, "As the Father loves me, so I also love you. Remain in my love. If you keep my commandments, you will remain in my love, just as I have kept my Father's commandments and remain in his love. I have told you this, that my joy may be in you, and your joy might be complete. This is my commandment. Love one another as I have loved you. No one has greater love than this, to lay down one's life for one's friends. You are my friends if you do what I command you. I no longer call you slaves, because a slave does not know what his master is doing. I have called you friends because I have told you everything I have heard from my Father. It was not you who chose me, but I have chosen you and appointed you to go and bear fruit that will remain, so that whatever you ask of the Father in my name he may give you. This I command, you love one another." The Gospel of the Lord. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Pastor.
How's everyone doing?
Great.
How are you?
Well, I'm doing pretty good. I'll tell you, wow. Yeah, I'm doing quite well. Thank you. For an old guy, anybody here who's, you might say, is a senior citizen knows that sometimes, aging can be a challenge, right? We all know it, yeah. Well, I'm in that group. Okay. Our readings today obviously are all about love. In our culture today, we sure hear a lot about love. In the movies, on TV, in songs, in greeting cards, and sometimes we say things like, "I love butter pecan ice cream." And I do. But that is not love in the meaning of today's writings. In our gospel today, Jesus says, "I give you one commandment." This is it. "I give you one commandment. Love one another as I have loved you. No one has greater love than this, to lay down one's life for one's friends." Well, that's not the way our culture talks about love. I mean, in our culture, love is more, how do you describe it, an emotion? It's a warm, fuzzy feeling or attraction. This sounds like a far cry from that. And Jesus is saying, I have lived it. I have died out of love. And now I command you to love as I have loved. Oh boy, I think we need to think about this one. I mean, I want you just to think in your own mind. I want you to think of who there is in the world that you actually would die for. Take a moment, think of that person, or perhaps those persons you would literally give up your life for. Okay, I imagine it's a rather short list, isn't it? A short list, But the truth of the matter is, you see, every day we are hearing about men and women who literally have died or have risked their lives in order to save others. We hear that all the time, don't we? Yeah. I'm thinking now of that horrible catastrophe in Las Vegas, And as horrible as that was, it brought out something else too. It brought out lots of men and women who literally died or risk their lives to give life to others. Now, we don't ever want to be part of a scene like that. But to bring this down to home, in our ordinary daily lives, that call of Jesus is still there. He wants you and me to love as he did. He's calling you and me in our ordinary lives to die to something in ourselves, to die to something about us in order to bring life to another. And once again, we're surrounded by that. If we'd only recognize it, it's already in our lives. If we'd only see it. Let me give you a few common examples of daily life loving and dying to self. I'm thinking of a son or a daughter who is caring for an elderly parent who may not even know who they are because of Alzheimer's. I'm thinking of a mom or a dad, single mom or dad, who is working 2 jobs to bring life to the kids. I'm thinking of mom and dad who would stay up all night taking care of a sick child. I'm thinking of a teenager who would risk losing some so-called friends because he is befriending a classmate that nobody likes. We're surrounded with all of these people, including ourselves, who are dying to something in order to bring life to others. That's it. That's the one commandment of Jesus. We don't have to look any further. That's it. When we die and come to judgment seat, that's what he's going to ask us. Did you become more or less of a loving person? All that other stuff doesn't equal that. St. Paul certainly understood this. Listen to St. Paul. If you speak with human tongues and angelic as well, did you hear that? If I could speak in angelic tongues, I'd have to think I was a little special, wouldn't you? Yeah. But Paul goes on. But you do not have love, you are only a noisy gong. Paul continues. If I had faith strong enough to move mountains, oh my. Think about that one. Oh, I'm thinking right now of the Catalinas. If I had faith strong enough to move the Catalina mountains, wow, I've got to be a pretty holy person, don't you think? But Paul goes on. But do not have love, I am nothing. There's even more. Paul goes on to say, if I give away everything I own to feed the poor, if I hand over my body to be burned, oh, now we've come to the ultimate sacrifice. I own nothing. I've given it all away to the poor. And now I'm ready for martyrdom. Please call the Vatican, make me a saint. But Paul goes on. If you do not have love, you gain nothing. Those are pretty powerful words. Paul certainly understood what Jesus is talking about today.